Hi everyone, it's the Assyrian Priestess with you. I hope this finds you well. Today I was inspired to do a reading that I'm calling Use Your Imagination. So what we're going to do today is ask the cards, what can the collective do to use our imagination? Oh, great. Look at this, the royal couple. So first cards out are the Temperance card, the High Priestess, and the Hierophant. That's pretty beautiful, powerful alchemy. So I guess what I'm getting from this with the Chariot in the shadow. So the Temperance card here is depicted as the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life was a cosmological system for the ancient Assyrians. And there's also a beautiful mythology of Inanna actually planting the Tree of Life. And when she plants that tree, it grows, obviously. And years and years and years later, she actually finds certain characters in this tree. And so those different characters that she meets have formed into a sort of cosmological system. If you are interested in that, there is I believe he's Swedish, a Assyriologist called Dr. Simo Popola. He's actually written some great articles on the Tree of Life and the cosmological reference for Assyrians. But what it means for the collective is there's a real focus here on nurturing that which you're growing. And you know, one of my hobbies is gardening. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments. But it's just, gardening is just the metaphor here. What the Temperance card is really about is, what are the different elements in your life that you're sort of creating in perfect symbiosis with each other? Now, a lot of people use the term harmony and balance, and yes, that is one aspect and one element of temperance, but it can also point to much harsher elements as well. And so that's when I share, often you'll hear me, I hope I'm not repeating myself, the tempering of the blade, is that it actually goes through a blade goes through really extreme and harsh heat and cold before it can actually be strong enough and sharp enough to be used for what it was designed for. And so the Tree of Life is sort of, the Temperance card is here to represent the own alchemical workings that have happened in our own life story and where they've brought us and where we find ourselves. And I sense that you're in a really good place, collective. Please don't tell yourself otherwise. We are in a really good place. We are in a really good position. We have learnt and grown so much from our life experiences that we know what is beautiful and what is not. And we know what we have to offer this world. Even though our joys were tempered with pain, and our, love was tempered with sorrow. You get my drift. This is the Temperance card for me. It's that perfect combination of the extremes that create an offering to each other and to ourselves of something that is truly beautiful. The next two cards out, I'm going to speak to them in unison, is the High Priestess, the goddess Ishtar here, riding atop the lion, with the two reeds of Inanna flanking her. And, I read a really fantastic book on the reeds of Inanna by Betty de Chong-Meador that you might be interested in finding that book. It's her book of interpreting the hymns of the priestess and Hedwana to Inanna. Here we have the High Priestess, and she's ringing the bells and she's shaking the drums. She's riding atop the lion in the starry night sky. And she's flanked by the reeds of the goddess, because every inspiration that comes to her is divine. And so the reading is really encouraging you, whoever you might be listening to this message, to tune into your otherworldly knowings. Now, this is different to your nighttime terrors and your ruminations based on stress and, past negative experiences. That is not your intuition. That is not your deep source guidance. Source guidance, in my experience, is found in those moments of epiphany, moments when you actually really truly are relaxed, moments maybe in deep prayer, contemplation, meditation, devotion. And the High Priestess, really, that's one of the key words for me, is devotion. So in your devotional practices, what is this longing of your heart? And here I see this alchemical romance, because we have the Hierophant, and it is said that the Hierophant, the card of Taurus, but it can be any sign, here represented by the scribe god of the Assyrians called Nabu, that he is the divine consort of the High Priestess. This is the sort of high priest, high priestess. They are tasked with keeping the mysteries and teaching them and sharing them and starting schools about them. So we have a very mystical reading here. And, I like it. The question was, how do we use our imagination? So I guess here there is a call for you to learn and use your deep divine inspirations, maybe ancestral stories, or maybe you're even a writer or a poet or some sort of fiction writer. All of these magical ideas you have, get them written down, write them down, share them. Treat the world to your divine inspiration. And I use the word divine, doesn't have to mean godly. It just means something from a really beautiful place inside. And I like this Hierophant card because we see behind the Hierophant a magical being, a magical demon actually. And these magical demons were found on Ishtar's gate. So you can learn more about them on my Patreon channel if that's your jam. Next row out, speaking of demons, next card out is the Five of Swords that Sandra Tabitha Cicero calls defeat. Then we have the Princess of Arrows, Ninlil. And then we have the Fool, Enkidu. Actually, I don't want to cover them. So let me just do this. There is a warning here with the Five of Swords that not everyone's going to like what you have to say. Not everyone's going to like what you stand for. And the risk is getting into arguments, getting into scuffles and battles, or maybe even preparing oneself for those scuffles and battles. And I say preparing yourself because the next card out, Princess of Arrows, the Assyrian goddess Ninlil, is here actually armed and ready to shoot her bow. But arming yourself and preparing yourself and protecting yourself actually will lead you onto a new path that you never thought that you would go on. And here we have a beautiful card of Enkidu, and who I suppose is the priestess Shamhat. You know, those things that threaten to destroy you, you can always defend yourself from. So learn the art of battle, my friends, whatever that looks like to you. So if we use our imagination, too many cards out again. I only want 3. It is fun to see what pops out. Oh, the Emperor card. Gee, lots of major arcana here. How can the collective use our imagination? One more card for the collective, and then I'll straighten it all up. Okay, I'm going to take Elil, the Father of Swords, King of Arrows, with the Prince of Cups in the shadow. So let's straighten ourselves out and have a look. If you use your imagination well, you will create something that will have the qualities of an empire. It will be bigger than just a small thing. It will have the potential to really expand and go widely. And so the question that this beautiful king asks is, how far do you wish to go? What are your goals? What are you achieving for? You know, what are you striving for, rather? The Queen of Discs is the queen who is masterful at bringing into form her ideas and her inspirations. The Emperor, here represented by the Babylonian King Marduk, represents the 4 directions being closely protected by order, by governance, by, you know, like the Emperor card for me, if you're going to design something or create something or share something, is making sure like your legals are sorted, your taxes are sorted, that your cybersecurity risk protections are up, that it's fortified by yourself, because ideas are beautiful and creations are beautiful, but so much more goes into communicating those ideas and protecting yourself from those ideas, in a business sense or even in an organizational sense or community sense. If you're not thinking about creating something or writing something, then this could also mean that connecting with community, connecting with that person who's caught your eye, and this is not simply in a romantic level, although it might be, because we do have the Prince of Cups in the shadow. But it could be like a friend you've been thinking about reaching out to, or a teacher that you're thinking about signing up to a course with. It's sort of saying to go for it, to protect yourself from all of these negative inner thoughts. I mean, the 5 of Swords, for most people, is not an actual scuffle or engagement with the outside world. Most times I find, and I've been reading tarot for over 20 years, almost 30 years. Actually, I was counting last night. It might be like 30 years. Is often just our inner critic and our inner thoughts. The what ifs, what's not good about this thing and what's not good enough. And so if we protect ourselves from our inner thoughts, we could go on a really nice new journey with this person or this thing that we're attracted to, that we're looking towards, this new course or certificate that we want to do potentially, if it's not a person or if it's not a community, if it's not an adventure. You have all the makings of something beautiful. I also see the month of April here with the Emperor card, because it is the card of Aries. And so I feel like between now and April, if we use our imagination, I don't know, I feel like some magical things could happen. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I'd love to hear your thoughts as always. Please don't forget to hit the like button. It means the world to me. And as always, I will leave you with my love and courage. Bye for now.